Hi, everyone. So I wanted to go over a few things. Half of you did a phenomenal job with your names the other day. You watched the video, it was clear you did all the guidelines, and then you made your names dimensional. The other half didn't watch the video or they rushed through it and they just guessed. And so I was a little disappointed about that. During fourth period, I noticed students were turning in their work early. I looked at the work and it wasn't completed properly. So the students that did turn it in properly, I went ahead and I added visually their examples. For example, Julieta, she had her top two favorites. She put a happy face on them and then she made them three-dimensional with all the guidelines. That's exactly what I wanted. And unfortunately, a lot of students didn't do this. A lot of you forgot to do the tops of your letters or the bottoms of your letters, and you forgot to make them three-dimensional. So I took a lot of time grading this work, and even with Julieta's, I see one line she forgot to do, which is right here on the corner of her J. She forgot to do that guideline and then to finish it off half inch with a curve. A lot of you forgot that with your curved letters. Same with the U right here. She needed a guideline in the center and then that curve to be a half inch. So it's really hard for me to explain this typing, and it's easier for me to visually discuss it. If you're really struggling, you should watch all the videos. If you're really struggling, don't do a difficult guideline name. Do a straight across one. Do a happy face. You don't have to do a zigzag or a curve. If this is something that is so hard for you, do the easiest one. You're not going to get marked down for it being easy. Okay, so that's important. Also, we can meet during Zoom. I can do some little video tutorials with you. I had a student struggling yesterday, and so I printed off her artwork and then I showed her all the things she forgot. But a lot of you, you're just missing all the little extra lines like Julieta. So that's important. Again, down here, Julieta, she didn't forget all the lines on this J. She did a great job. So she needed to, I love how she did one above the vanishing point and then she did one below the vanishing point. So she experimented and she practiced. And looking at these two, I would say either one would be fantastic for this assignment, but you don't know until you try. And so that is, important. I had some students that did many vanishing points, but they're just not at that level yet. And if it's not looking right, then let's do an easier one, slow your roll on that. So that was really important for me to discuss with you guys. I sent back a lot of zeros for half of the students because it wasn't three-dimensional and it wasn't done correctly. Please redo them. Please submit them again. I will gladly give you a grade. I just need it done right because this is what we're going to be making as our big project worth 100 points, so it has to be correct. Some of you think you could just submit anything and that I'm not actually opening them up and grading, but I am. I open up all of them and I grade all of them. Here's another young lady, Sandra. She did both of them with a vanishing point at the bottom. And I look at the top areas. If it doesn't go to the vanishing point, you don't draw it. So like this N, it goes straight down right here. And that's why she didn't draw it at the top. She did these all correct. The D, you can also look up 3D letters on the internet above the vanishing point or below the vanishing point. Sandra did a fantastic job with the centers of her D's and her R's and her A's. A lot of you are forgetting to do the center part. Same with O's. I noticed that's been a huge problem. So over here, Yuri did one to the side with a diagonal line, and I really was pleased with this because it's different. One of the things that I noticed a few of you were doing was erasing the guidelines. Nobody told you to erase the guidelines. I showed you to do the guidelines. I wanted to see the guidelines. So some of you faked it. You tried to make them look dimensional, but you didn't use guidelines. I know exactly what you do and what you don't do, and I want to see all the steps in this example. So you got to do it right for those 5 points and for you to move on to the next step. I won't let you move on until you get this done, okay? Here, she had a vanishing point in the center and she had a happy face, and this was just a really great example. You could tell she took time to do them correct. She took time to watch the video. I understand if you turned in one done and one not done because you just didn't have enough time, but when you don't bother to do all the lines to the vanishing point, and you just cut corners, that's a problem for me. Here's another good example. So this led me to feel like, okay, half of you got it, half of you don't, and you need more time. And that's what I'm going to give you today. But I wanted to show you some more examples. This was my examples, and yes, they're 3D. So I was wondering, why are people turning them in without 3D letters and without the guidelines? Because my examples showed those, and so did my videos. So that was a little disappointing. You have 51 minutes in this class. I expect you to use all 51 minutes. I always check the students that submit them early because I'm like, that sounds a little fishy to me. I don't think they did the work. So for Tuesday, I posted examples of three-dimensional letters. These ones is the vanishing point below or above the letter? What do you guys think? Can somebody tell me? If you're not sure, then don't say anything. If you're sure, then say something. Let's see here. If this is going downward, this is going downward, and this one's going downward, then the vanishing point is below, wait, the letter is above the vanishing point. Okay, so on all of these, we're seeing the bottoms of the letters, so that means the letters are above the vanishing point. So this one, the John, the vanishing point is above the letters, and the letters are below the vanishing point. I had to like slow myself down and make sure I say it correctly. Okay, so you're seeing the tops of those letters. Now, I went ahead and I tried to show you letters from different directions. So this is from the top, and the vanishing point is somewhere around here, and the stages of how to draw the letters. Even though we've done this together with art rules multiple times, some of you are still lost and struggling, so I just wanted to show you some examples. And so, in stages. We don't erase the lines right now because I wanted to see those lines. When we're really happy with it, when we've practiced enough, and for your final piece, yes, you're going to erase those lines. But right now I'm trying to make sure your lines are correct. So I'm looking at this John right here, and this isn't even finished. They forgot to do the side right here of the J. They forgot to do the inner part of the H and the N. I didn't notice that when I paste this here, and the line right here. You always see where the little line ends, and that's where you're going to finish off the letter. Here, there isn't a line that ends, but you could tell that this is a vertical line here. So this one, right where it ends there, that's where the vertical line is going to go. And same with this J, it's a straight line. So you're going to go ahead and do a straight line here. Oh, that's because it's in the next step, but it would have been nice if they added it to that one. Okay, so those little details are really, really important. And I just wanted to let you know that they're all visually on the agenda to help you. If you need more visuals, I can provide more visuals and do little things. So you can email me. Make sure you put your first and last name and your period on the subject line. I want to show you this because a few of you are still sending me really bad examples of emails. I said, here's my email address, and include your full name, period, in the subject line. I even put an arrow, and I showed you an example that says period to Yesenia Gomez. A lot of you are putting the message in the subject line or what the problem is. Don't do that, okay? When you do that, it makes it hard for me to help you. When you look at the top of my computer, there's little tabs. When you put your name and the period in the subject line, it shows up on the tab. So if I need to fix your attendance, if I need to fix your grade, I have your name and period. So that's why I ask you to do it this way, because I get 100 emails a day and I want to do things quickly and efficiently. And I've gone over this a lot. And so it's really important to me that you're making that effort. And that's why I put it on the top of each and every one of my agendas, because I know you forget the details, but you can't forget them. They're on the top of the agenda. So take the time to look at those. Please, please, please. I beg you. Okay. So I've gone over this a billion times now. All right. We're going to go ahead and see what's supposed to happen today. So it says video number 1. Okay, I'm going to click this video. Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. I wanted to share some information about Art Club with you, and then some updated information about Yesenia, and we'll get started. So happy Tuesday. Let's play this bad boy. So welcome to Art Club. So today we're going to go over cabinet and Art Club in general so you can get a better understanding. And yeah. Hi, I'm McKenna Jonas, your president. I am currently a senior. 3 random facts about me are that I really like photography. I spend most of my time on the weekends playing video games, typically Minecraft, but it varies sometimes. And my favorite holiday is Halloween. Hi guys, I'm your vice president this year and also senior. Some 3 random facts about me. I love Minecraft. Huge fan for British Minecraft games to prefer I also really enjoy Star Wars and Harry Potter, and I love to play with people. Hi everyone, I'm Rose, and I'm this year's secretary. 3 random facts about me: I play lots of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a massive theater nerd. I've been a part of one of Park's theater production for 3 years, and I really like to read. I am your publicist, Matthew DeSena. Call me Matt. 3 random things about me is that I dance a lot at the weirdest place at the most awkward time. Don't ask me why, even I don't know, I just do it. Another is I like spending my time outdoors or with my friends. And if you're going to get me Starbucks, my favorite order is most country crumb. All right, so what is Art Club? Art Club is really just a safe place to do art and meet others that enjoy art. Even if you're not good at art, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be good to be in the club. We're just having fun and doing art. We will do crafts and art exercises and use different mediums to further your interest in art. However, it is going to be harder this year because of our situation. So things are subject to change, but we will do the best with what we've got. Future projects, all of October, we will be participating in Inktober, which is all of October. You do a drawing every day in ink. I'll go and talk about it in the next slide. We will be using random resources at home, but probably a pencil and graphite for the most part. We will, again, things will be subject to change, so we might do other types of art. Yeah. So Inktober, here's the prompt list. So, like I said, every day you will be doing a drawing. On the right are some examples of the first one, which was fish. So yeah. Here are social medias. Classroom, we put on a lot of some of the resources that we talk about during meetings. And you should join our Remind and follow us on Instagram because we will be putting out reminders for club meetings and other important information. We also might, for projects we do, if you tag us on Instagram, we might feature you on our Instagram page. So join us. Fantastic. Thank you for that, McKenna. I have something I wanted to share with you about that. So if you go to Google Classroom, let me see if I can find it here. Hopefully you wrote down that code or took a picture of it. I will show it to you one last time here. I have Art Club right here. And let's see if we can make this bigger. Woohoo! So that is the code for the Art Club Google Classroom. They meet on Fridays or every other Friday, and all people are welcome. You do not need to be in an art class to join Art Club. So McKenna posted the Inktober Fest here. And let's see what else. We had, the art introduction, and the art sign up is right here. You could easily click on that and start joining. We'd love to see this grow. It's a great way to build a community and have fun and just chit chat. Just because we're on online, or whatever your circumstance is going to be in the next few weeks, doesn't mean you shouldn't be joining these clubs. It's great for college, it's great for community, and just to have fun. It's a safe place with great people. So we welcome you. I wanted to give you an update about Yesenia Gomez. She was featured in PAC News a couple of weeks ago, and sometimes we don't all get a chance to see that. And it's a quick little blurb and a message that she sent out to all of you.
Our county moves on to the next phase. The Buena Park High School reopening plan will be up on our school's website. Now let's hear from our last year's valedictorian on a new segment called Where Are They Now? All of our own. It's time. This morning's special living grad standout is going straight from Orange County to the Ivy League. She is a valedictorian with a 4.85 GPA on her way to Brown University and the Rhode Island School of Design.
Didn't know that was a thing. 4.85. My goodness. She's a first-generation college student, an Earlwood Scholar, an Edison Scholar, and she's quite the artist. Meet Buena Park High School valedictorian Yesenia Gomez.
Hey Coyotes, my name is Yesenia Gomez, and I was a valedictorian of the graduating class of 2020. So since graduating, I've moved to Providence, Rhode Island, which is on the East Coast, in order to attend Brown University and the Rhode Island School of Design for a dual degree program. So what that means is that instead of being here for 4 years for a bachelor's, I'm here for 5 years, but I get 2 bachelors. One Bachelor of Science from Brown University and a Bachelor of Fine Arts from Rhode Island School of Design. It's kind of like double majoring, but it's cool because I get all of the engineering stuff from Brown, which is really good for that, and all of the fine art stuff from RISD. So they both have their strengths, and I get to attend both schools. So I thought that that was just a really cool program when I was looking at colleges. And I know seniors, college time is approaching. You guys have to do your FAFSA, all of your financial aid stuff, applying to colleges, private schools, public schools, all of that jazz. So I wish you guys the best of luck. I know I struggled a lot with that when I was in high school. Application season was definitely stressful. So I think the biggest thing that I can tell you guys to do is probably just sit down and, make a good college list. I personally applied to 18 schools, which I think was a lot. And, if I had to do it again, I would definitely not apply to that many. But just having a good mix between your safety, your match, and your reach schools. Brown was definitely my reach school. It's an Ivy League, and I never in a million years would have thought that I would have gotten to be here. But, a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, a lot of help from staff. My counselor, Miss Arceva, definitely helped me out a lot. So did all of my teachers who went over essays, administration who helped me do a lot of other stuff. Just everybody at school, they're really rooting for you, and they're really your biggest resource on campus. So my biggest thing again is just never be afraid to apply to the school that you really want to go to, because you'll never know what happens. So since graduating from high school, I've been here. College is definitely different from high school. I think one of the biggest things is just scheduling. For example, when you're in high school, you kind of go from like 8 to 3, and you just have your block of classes and you do your homework and extracurriculars. But in college, your classes are really spread out, so you have more free time. Time that you're not in class, but it's definitely not free. You just really have to decide, when you're doing your stuff, especially since a lot of classes are asynchronous right now because of the COVID situation, and figuring out when you're going to study, when you're going to do your homework, work and outside activities. So I think time management is just the biggest difference between the two. Since high school, you kind of have somebody holding your hand, taking you which classes, telling you which classes to take, but that is definitely not the case in college. Registration is definitely a way bigger hassle here than it was there. But, college is amazing. I definitely encourage anybody who wants to try it to go for it, even if you don't know what you're studying. Tons of people go in undeclared, and they just take that one class that really does it for them, and they find, what they're passionate about. So some of the goals I have for college personally are to better manage my time, find what I'm really, really passionate about. I'm thinking of doing engineering because, it really mixes the art and the design. But who knows? So I know COVID is really tough, and, big props to you guys for all of the work that you've been doing. I've heard that everybody's been doing super good so far and amazing. Honestly, there's light at the end of the tunnel. We don't know when this will end, but you guys have been doing great. I think all we have to do is just keep looking forward, taking this time to really appreciate the stuff that we have, like being family and stuff, seeing friends whenever we can, whether it be through the internet or distance, and just realizing that we can do whatever we want if we put our minds to it. So I hope everybody's having a great time, and go ahead,
Okay, so I don't know. That makes me tear up. I blubber. So that's the videos that I have here for you today. And I really encourage you to join Art Club because we would love to have and be a part of your community. We are all rooting for each other here. And here is that code one last time. Take a picture, write it down. It'll last longer. Okay, I go ahead and end this video. All right. So I hope you appreciated that little message from Yesenia. Uh-oh. Yikes. I didn't mean for that to happen. Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. I wanted to share some information about Art Club with you. That's the wrong and video. Then some updated information about Yesenia. And I'm embarrassed that's in there, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this video because that's not what I wanted for you. If you are struggling with your three-dimensional letters, I put some helpful links so you can click on this one. This one's fairly basic. And please don't color in your letters like this. This is just what she showed. I want you to just, look at the steps if that helps you. And this had the hollow letters. I want all your letters hollow. And right now I'm looking for the guidelines. Don't erase your guidelines. And so it starts off with the basic letters like this. They have to be thick. I saw a few students with stick figure letters trying to make them dimensional, and that's not what we're doing. I don't understand why they did stick letters and then they didn't beef them up and make them bulky. So there, after that point, this is the stages again. They don't have the vanishing point down here, but it's definitely down here if you're doing it from that area. And I thought you might appreciate how they did these curves here, because sometimes we struggle with that. It all depends on where the vanishing point is. So here they break it down into further steps. You can look at this on your own if you find it helpful. Also, here is my slideshow on how to do dimensional letters. If you want to follow up and you're struggling and there was something maybe you saw on this, you could take a look and scroll through this as well. It's available to you. It has the step-by-steps. It talks about the vanishing point and the guidelines and all that. Do not shade your letters. We're going to talk about shading and we're going to do a bunch of exercises before you shade. So right now we're just trying to get your names narrowed down to 2 and dimensional on the guidelines. Does anybody have any questions for me before I move on? Nobody has a question? I'm going to check the chat real quick. I don't know how to check the chat. I prefer people talking to me. Yeah, I can't find the chat for some reason. Oh, there's 2 chats. Ms. Brown, I'm here, but my Wi-Fi is lagging. I was marked absent too. All right, let me open up the attendance. Let me make sure everybody's here. I'm going to take attendance one last time. Okay, so that, MJ, are you here? She was in there. Respond in the chat then, if your mic's not working. And then the other one was Sarahi. Are you here, Sarahi? You would think you'd be responding in the chat if you really were here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mark Mia absent again because she didn't respond in the chat, but Sarahi did respond, so I'll take her off of that. Okay, now Mia is saying yeah. All right, so I took them both off. Is there anything else Anyone want to talk about anything? I'm going to give you class time today, and let's talk about the agenda for Wednesday. So Wednesday, there is no Zoom. It's a faster day. I figure it takes too long to just do attendance, let alone get to the meat and potatoes of what we do. What I'm going to ask is that you photograph your cover design for your classwork and make sure you rotate your photograph. So what I put here is select your favorite practice name and begin your real cover design. Now, if that's on the cereal box, like my folder that I showed you an example of a while back, that's great. Or it could just be on the actual cover of the sketchbook that I passed out or that you picked up from the front office. Either one is fine. I don't care. And then you can, like it says here, do the cereal box folder, and you can even do it two-sided if you want. I got the hiccups all of a sudden. I'm so sorry. So, I want you to have fun with this. Only outlines, no shading. I will go over shading first with the 1.1 light source. And so that's a lesson for later. We are just doing outlines on our covers. Does anybody have questions about that? All right, pick your favorite and you can begin doing the cover if you're ready. If you're one of those students I gave a 0 to because you were missing certain aspects of your practice one, you got to get that in. So you can't say I didn't give you class time today. Some of you said, "Oh, it was not enough time." I'm giving you time. The bell rings at 12:03 for fourth period. I'm giving you roughly 20 minutes of class time today to resubmit that. And if you are ready to start your cover design, I'm giving you that time for that. So there's no excuses. Everybody has to get on board with this. I know it's hard at first, and I'd love to give you feedback if you're struggling, and you can always communicate with me through email as well. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video.